Hello class, today we're going to talk about section 5.3, which is solving multi-step inequalities. By the end of today's lesson, you'll be able to solve and graph the multi-step inequalities. So we are looking at, just like equations, just like with the last two sections, we're looking at sad meat to solve. So we've got 4y plus 11 is less than 43. First thing we want to get rid of is that addition. So we're going to take 11 away from both sides, giving me 4y is less than 32. Then we're going to want to go ahead and divide by 4 on both sides, and we get y is less than 8. Coming down to our number line, we're going to put our closed dot at 8, and then we're going to go ahead and test our point, plugging in 0 is less than or equal to 8. That is a true statement. So our arrow is going to be going to the left. Go ahead and try this one on your own. Solving first by subtracting 10 and then dividing by -2. Remembering that when you are dividing by a negative, you are flipping that inequality symbol. So you end up with an answer of 0 is less than or equal to w. Closed circle at 6 is less than or equal to w. Closed circle at 6, 0 is a false, so that arrow is going to the right. Word problem. 5 minus a number times 6 is at least 4 times the number plus 45. So when we're looking at this first part, we've got 5 minus a number times 6, so we've got 5 minus 6x. Then we've got the is at least. If we are looking at least, we want it to be bigger than or equal to or greater than or equal to. And then we've got 4 times the number plus 45. So now we got variables on both sides in order to avoid negatives and to avoid having to flip that inequality symbol. We're going to first add 6x to both sides. So I've got 5 is greater than or equal to 10x plus 45. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 45 to get the x by itself on its own side. So I've got -40 is greater than or equal to 10x. Dividing by 10 on both sides, I've got -4 is greater than or equal to x. So I'm going to want to put that -4 on the graph. 1, 2, 3, -4. And then I'm going to go ahead and test my point and say -4 is greater than or equal to 0, which is a false statement. So our arrow is going to the left. Go ahead and try this one on your own. So we've got 2x minus 6 is less than, so that less than symbol, 4x plus 18. Again, moving the 2 so that we can keep our variables positive. Then subtracting 18 and dividing by 2, we get -12 is less than x. -12 is less than 0, so we're going to go ahead and draw that arrow to the right with an open circle at -12. If you have questions about these word problems, please let me know when you come to class. Last thing we're going to look at is some inequalities involving parentheses. So just like with regular equations, you want to get rid of the parentheses first, and we're going to use the distributive property to do this. So 2 times h gives me 2h plus 2 times 6, which is 12, is greater than 3 times 8, which is 24, minus 3 times h, which is 3h. Again, avoiding the negatives, we want to get rid of that -3h by adding 3h to both sides, giving me 5h plus 12 is greater than 24. When I subtract 12 from both sides, I end up with 5h is greater than 12. Dividing both sides by 5, I get an answer of h is greater than 2.4. So we're going to go ahead and put that on our graph now. And we've got 2.4 roughly there with an open circle. 0 is bigger than 2.4 is a false statement. So our arrow is going to the right. Go ahead and try this one on your own. Distributing gives you 30d minus 18. And continuing to solve for d, you end up with -3 is less than or equal to d. Putting that closed dot on -3 and testing 0, you get a true statement. So your arrow is moving to the right. Last case that we're going to look at, again, this has those parentheses in there, so we want to get rid of those parentheses by distributing. So I get 9r minus 5r plus 25. Notice the -5 times the -5, so we get a positive, is less than or equal to 4r minus 12. When I combine my r's on the left side, I get 4r plus 25 is less than 4r minus 12. Subtracting 4r from both sides, I get an answer of 25 is less than or equal to -12. Now, we all know this is a false statement, so what this indicates to us is that this is going to be a no solution problem. If the inequality symbol had been reversed, and we had a case where we got an answer of 25 is greater than or equal to -12, then that would be a true statement, which would have given us an all solutions situation. So you have to be careful that you are paying attention to whether these problems are true or false if the variables get eliminated, and that either turns into no solution or all solution. So in this case, we have no solution because it is a false statement. If you have questions about this or anything else from the lesson, please let me know when you get to class.